The movie Sully came out 9 years ago, and today we're going to be reviewing that together. I got to say, all pilots secretly wish what happened to Sully happened to them because you get a book deal, you become a millionaire, and you're famous. I have a unique perspective. I was actually at the Charlotte airport, and I worked for US Airways Express at the time. So we're going to get in the nitty gritty and see just how realistic this movie is. So let's go ahead and watch this, and we're going to react together.
Mayday, Mayday, Cactus 1549. We've lost both engines. Both engines.
I know that this scene right here was shot in the simulator in Charlotte, but also I can tell by the wear and tear that this is a simulator, not a real airplane. The simulator is used so many times that there's scratches and the buttons are worn off, and they're not really required to fix that like they are the real plane. So just from knowing that, I can tell that this is a simulator, not a real airplane, but obviously still very realistic.
Sully! Corey, I love you.
But I'll just be honest, I don't see the need to do a 9/11 style plane going in and crashing into the buildings. That was never going to be an option. It was never going to happen.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Captain Sullenberger, for being here today. We also want to welcome First Officer Skiles. Glad you could make it in this morning.
They did do a very good job here. This is the initial meet and greet with the NTSB and the investigators. They slowly set this up. They don't start off very upset, and they just kind of you start to build the tension. And the reality was, as far as my understanding, this was never actually the case. The NTSB was never on their case like this. They were just following the standard process. But the movie obviously exaggerates this.
It's not a crash. It was a forced water landing.
Why didn't you attempt to return to LaGuardia?
There simply was not enough altitude.
It is funny to watch Sully be painted here as just such a typical pilot. Tom Hanks does a very good job of emboldening the persona of an old airline captain. He definitely does a good job.
Sully, don't worry, you did a great thing. It's gonna be remembered for a very long time.
Here's the funny thing. I've delivered 1 million passengers over 40 years in the air, but in the end, I'm going to be judged on 208 seconds.
And that's a thought pilots live with all the time. You could be the best pilot forever and for 40 years, deliver all these passengers, go thousands and thousands of miles, and you make one mistake, and that could be your legacy. It's definitely something that weighs on pilots a lot. Oh, come on. That's what I'm talking about. We're 17 minutes into the movie, and we have two 9/11 style planes going into Manhattan.
Help. There's something else. Arnie Gentile called. He has the ACARS data. The left engine was still operating at idle.
Not possible. I felt it go. It was like we were stopped in midair.
Arnie said there was a chance it was sub-idle, that it still could have had thrust.
I remember when this happened at the time. There was so many pilots that heard this, that there was still power in the left engine. Basically, they said, oh, Sully's an idiot. All he had to do was go push up the thrust lever and he had plenty of power. Here's the thing. Even if it was sub-idle, operating single engine requires the other engine to basically be operating at complete and full power at a normal setting. If, let's say, the engine had 10%, who cares? That's not enough to sustain flight and get you back in for a landing. That doesn't matter.
To investigate how a plane ended up in the Hudson River.
On the Hudson River. Isn't it a little early in the year to go fishing?
Seeking the facts is hardly fishing, Mr. Skiles.
Okay, then here's the most important fact.
It says, look at this guy. Look how angry he makes him look. This guy looks like he's just pissed. They start to turn up the heat here on the antagonist and really bring it up. From my understanding, again, that is not what happened. They asked their standard questions that they're required to ask, but they never saw them as potentially making the wrong choice.
Is because Captain Sullenberger turned on the auxiliary power unit.
He was simply following the QR.
Okay, so when he says the Captain Sullenberger turned on the auxiliary power unit, so essentially that's the APU is like a big generator in the back for your airplane. When your engines are shut down, that's how you still have power. When you push off the gate, you still have power, you still have air conditioning back there. So they got the APU on quicker than normal.
According to Airbus, that's the 15th thing on the list to do. 15th. If he had followed the damn rules, we'd all be dead. Maybe that's the part you don't like. You're not used to having answers to your guesses.
Look.
With the answers you don't like. That was funny. I'll give him that.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ron. The
All right, so now we
Basil
go
is in Charlotte.
back to the entire time. Okay, they did a great job. This is spot on. Back then, our badges were horizontal like this, and this was the exact badge that we had. And we would have the people, all the pilots that were mad at all the pilots that were mad at the company would have the red below. And definitely pretty much everyone had that red badge as a secondary badge underneath, basically showing that you're fed up. When things were good, it was green. When it's bad, it was red. But the tie, the suit, everything spot on. I had that exact same uniform.
Good afternoon.
It's weird for the flight attendant to be standing outside the door, like outside the aircraft. Like you might step out for a second, but that part's odd.
Parameters verify 3023.
3023.
Start checklist complete. You really think they'll release us?
Check the latest reports. We're clear all the way to Charlotte.
And stakes. The Frisco's on me.
Never been. And I hear good things.
Oh. Ribeye will break your heart.
I seriously doubt these guys are going to be getting steaks together on the end of their trip. It's not like they were overnighting in Charlotte. He was going to get to Charlotte. This is the end. This was the last leg of their trip. And so Sully was going to commute home to California. I don't know where Styles would win if he was lived there. I think he commuted to Pittsburgh or something. But either way, they weren't going to Del Frisco's.
Wait.
My understanding, this is the actual gate. I've flown out of this exact gate as a CRJ pilot under U.S. Airways. So we flew right out of this gate. If it's actually C-21, I'm not sure, but I believe this is the correct gate. And this actually is at LaGuardia.
Hey, hi. I'm sorry. Spirit sent us. We got canceled, and they said that we were rerouted.
Blame it on Spirit. That's low.
You made it. Yeah, no kidding, huh? All right. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, we're in 6, Jeff.
Oh, no, that's all Jimmy. I was up till 3.
Okay, the plane is spot on, exactly right. The Airbus 320 at the time had 3 rows of first class. Row 4 would have been the first seat in coach. And everything here is exactly right, the U.S. Airways. It looks identical.
I Googled you last night. Read all about your company on your website. It's impressive.
Thanks.
I thought I was a good bullshitter, but you could go pro.
Hey.
No, I'm only teasing. But I mean, the site does make it sound like your air safety consulting business has got about 100 employees and headquarters in 3 states. Then when I dug a little deeper, I realized.
So Sully had, before this all went down, Sully had some type of aviation consulting business. And the reality was these two companies, the U.S. Airways and the contract merger between America West, were so nasty at this point that their pay was frozen. The other companies were making 30, 40%. Right here at this time, the most Sully was making as an Airbus captain was $125 an hour. And if you compare that to other airlines, just to give you a reference, right now, other pilots now pay's gone up, but it was the lowest of the lowest. So it was very common after 9/11 when they got their pay cut, as a lot of people started second businesses and things like that. Real quick, before we continue on, we got to hear from our sponsor of today's video, and then we'll get right back into the video. Have you ever wished you could use your phone abroad the same way you do at home? Dealing with no service, expensive roaming charges, and slow data when I'm just waiting for my GPS to load. It's been my travel experience more times than I can count. And that's why I tried Haulfly, the sponsor of today's video. It's an eSIM card you download before you travel. No swapping plastic cards and no contracts. It's just unlimited data the moment you land. They've got coverage in over 200 destinations and even regional plans. So one plan can cover multiple countries. Plus, you can pick customizable day plans so you only pay for the days you actually need. And the setup? It's super simple. You just scan a QR code and you'll be connected right through their app or website in minutes. I used Haulfly on my last trip and it worked flawlessly. I could use maps, Ubers, and messages without having to worry about extra carrier charges. Haulfly gives you peace of mind when you travel. Reliable data, no roaming drama, and no nasty billing surprises. So if you're ready to stay connected anywhere in the world, check out Haulfly. And now, back to the video.
Go easy. just getting it going.
But here's the weird part. They're at the gate. Both their shoulder harnesses are on. I'm not saying it never happens, but that's so weird. Before you push back and you're both strapped in. Sometimes I'll see it once, but I don't strap in at least until I got all the numbers programmed because I'm still moving around a bit. It's just a little bit early. I at least wait till we push back. But again, nobody said you couldn't.
LaGuardia Ram Cactus 1549 ready for pushback at gate 21.
Cactus 1549, gate 21 cleared to push, spot 28 ground for taxi.
Good job by Jeff Stiles. That was a perfect radio call.
Takeoff minimum fuel quantity verified.
I want to know how they got this shot because after they had filmed this, there was no more U.S. Airways plane. This must just be insane CGI. This looks real and it's U.S. Airways paint. So I'm wondering how they got this shot. Apparently, Sully pulled over and went on that delay, used his cell phone to call somebody. And that's technically highly illegal. This is from what I remember. I can't verify that for sure. Well, apparently, that was kind of just swept under the rug. We'll just let that go. Along with technically breaking sterile cockpit, as you'll see when he makes a comment about the Hudson River. I remember an instructor told me, "Oh, maybe if you were Sully and weren't worried about the view of the river, you'd be paying attention and wouldn't hit the birds." A little extreme. But technically, I guess technically you're breaking sterile cockpit, but I don't think FAA or anybody was ready to take a fight over that. You can't crucify the hero.
Toga set.
Okay, correct call. Toga set. Sounds good. This is so realistic. How did they shoot this? Did they find an old U.S. Airways plane to get this? Everything is perfect here. A little hint for you if you want to know it's an Airbus 320 is it has 2 emergency exit doors on the wing. A 319 will have one. A 321 doesn't have it over the wing. There's one behind it and in front. So that's a little cheat code to know. But everything here looks completely realistic and perfect. This is obviously in the simulator. This shot right here is very cool. If that's CGI from 9 years ago, that's good. And what you're going to do right here at LaGuardia is right when you take off, you basically start a left turn. You don't go straight out. So you basically start that left turn pretty soon.
Give up. Nice view of the Hudson.
There it is. Nice view of the Hudson. Technically, you're being a stickler on the sterile cockpit, but you got to admit how badass is it to be Sully. You use your phone, apparently. You break sterile cockpit, and you land it. Not only do they not punish you for it, they put it in the movie of you breaking sterile cockpit. It's like, dude, you're brushing off whatever's coming at you.
Yes, it is.
Here's where we get birds.
Birds.
Whoa.
That was all true. Birds and whoa was correct. And everybody in the passengers that they interviewed said it sounded like some shoes in the dryer. It was because they had all those stuff in the engines trying to turn over. Now, here's the thing. I can't verify this, but I do not believe the flight attendants got up. At this low to the ground, I don't think they walked up and down the aisle. You just prepared everybody for takeoff. You wouldn't be walking up and down the aisle, in my opinion.
You got one rolling back. You got both of them rolling back.
There's 2 types of engines on the 320. There is the IAE and there's the CFM. Apparently, Sully had the CFM, but in the movie here, they're showing the IAE engine. So again, not a huge deal, but the simulator they used probably was the IAE, and that's why they showed that instead of the CFMs.
I'm starting the APU.
Okay, starts the APU. It's a good job.
Double check your seatbelts, please.
You all right? Loss of thrust on both engines. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Cactus 1549.
We hit birds.
Maintain 15,000 Delta 331.
Hey, I haven't been in the ATC tower in the U.S. or a control room, but apparently this is very, very accurate.
We've lost thrust on both engines. We are turning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading 220.
220.
Which engine did you lose?
Both engines.
Soup,
Yep.
I have an emergency.
What's the report?
Both engines.
So this is so accurate. When you listen to the ATC audio, it sounds like this guy. In fact, I was like, did they hire this guy to do the audio? Which I don't think so. But this actor basically emulates exactly the sound and the exact calls. You can listen to this on YouTube and see how accurate this is.
Both engines gone. No thrust.
All right. LaGuardia says go to runway 13.
Tower, stop your departure. Got an emergency returning. 1549, bird strike. He lost both engines. Returning immediately.
Which engine?
He lost thrust in both engines, he said. Cactus 1549, if we can get it for you. Do you want to try to land runway 13?
We are unable. We may end up in the Hudson.
I would imagine that's the exact look Styles would have gave Sully when he said we're going to be in the Hudson. That everybody there would have been like, what?
From a guy's standpoint.
What about over to our right? Anything in New Jersey? Maybe Teterboro?
Teterboro Tower, I need a runway. Cactus 1549 needs to go to the airport right now. Newark Tower, what have you got?
You have runway.
Okay, so as you watch this track as they go, this is what happened. Hey, you're gonna go. We're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give LaGuardia. They first told him no, we're not gonna. I couldn't get it for you. I'll give you runway 4. And then he's like, okay, we're not gonna make it. Maybe I don't think he said in the Hudson, and I think he only said it once, and he said it later. But he said, all right, well, what's over to our right? Anything maybe Teterboro? And you can hear Sully staying calm, but you can hear the inflection in his actual voice if you listen to it. You can hear distress, rightfully so.
Cactus 1549, radar contact lost.
KC, come on over here.
You also got Newark off you 2 o'clock in about 7 miles. Don't go in the river.
This shows the stress that ATC goes under. I mean, you can imagine you're handling all these planes, and now you got a plane that says their 2 engines are down, and he's got to haul and coordinate and everything, and you still mess up. It's your fault. Like, wild to think about.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
What? Brace! 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 Heads down!
That's the correct term. Brace, brace, brace. Heads down, stay down. Here's the thing. I've been on that Airbus. It's bulletproof, but there's gaps at the bottom and kind of at the top. So you could hear that. And Sully even said he heard back there that he could hear the flight attendants yelling, which is absolutely correct. So all this, the pilots are hearing that. And I've actually been in a brace position flying before and had it in the back, and you can definitely hear it.
Stay down! Brace! 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 Heads down! Stay down!
Cactus 1549, turn right 280. You can land runway 1 Teterboro.
We can't make it. We're going to end up in the Hudson.
Nitpicking here a little bit, but I don't like how he goes, we're going to be in the Hudson. I mean, he solely said it in real life. You listen to the audio, he goes, we're going to be in the Hudson. And then he basically cuts off the transmission because he's, got other stuff to do.
I'm sorry, say again, Cactus?
And even here in real life, I think it was an American Eagle
Cactus
tuned in and said,
1549
hey,
radar
I think he said he's
contact
going to be in the Hudson.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull
We're
up.
going to brace.
Pull up.
So you're hearing all those alarms. It's the jip whiz, right? The gear isn't down and the plane's warning you. It's like, hey, we're too low. Whoop, whoop, pull up, too low gear. You're going to hear these noises in the cockpit. And so this is all normal alarms to go off when you don't have the proper setting and you're not configured. But obviously you're not going to land with the gear down in the water.
We invented a drink after you as soon as that happened. Isn't that right, Manny?
Yeah, you did. In fact, I'll take one.
The Sully. It's a shot of Grey Goose with a splash of water, huh?
That was the joke at the time. That's the drink. I heard this. All this stuff I heard, being in the industry was the drink was the Sully. It's a shot of Grey Goose with a splash of water.
Stay down!
Oh my God!
All right. I don't want to get into this too much, but from the rumors I heard, someone, either a flight attendant in the back or a passenger, opened the rear door when it wasn't supposed to. The first thing you're supposed to do is open up and check the water level. And if there's water, you're not supposed to open up the back of the cabin, which was done. I think this may be overlooked. The flight attendant claimed she didn't do it. Then it was a passenger. So who knows the real story? Regardless, the back door did get open when it wasn't supposed to.
Evacuate. Evacuate. Grab your life vest, please.
Opening forward door.
So I think this is more of a movie thing. The captain, you know, when he says evacuate, he shouldn't be going down the aisle. You're only blocking the aisle. So the captain, I doubt he did that until the end. So once the aisles are clear, then you go and look, make sure, hey, is there any kids hiding under the seats? You're going to go. So I doubt right here he's actually, I highly doubt that Sully got up and started walking down the aisle in the middle of evacuation. That water's got to be cold.
Exits are unusable. Move forward to the overwing exits. And don't life vests now.
So again, this became more of a dangerous situation than it needed to be because of the aft door getting opened up and water rushing in. Dude, that's wow. That actually happened. The guy just jumped out. There's a video of it. The guy just jumped out and started swimming. He thought he was going to swim to Manhattan. Then he was like, I changed my mind. So this part is true. Sully did walk up and down the aisle twice, and they even made a joke about it. Back then in 2009, we read newspapers, right? And the popular one with pilots was a USA Today, right? This is before I'm that old. We had newspapers, but you have newspapers. And so the joke was, why did Sully walk up and down the aisle twice? And they said he was looking for a USA Today. That's a joke on pilots being cheap and that the pilots always read a USA Today.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Charles Porter.
This guy, this NTSB, they make him so, like, they give him the most punchable face, which I guess is why it makes the movie good.
Might change theirs.
So that is in Charlotte, North Carolina, which used to be the U.S. Airways Training Center, which is now the American Airlines Center. I've been in that exact simulator. And the simulator that they're showing right here, I believe, is the same simulator that a lot of those shots were shot inside.
You know, a lot of toes were stepped on in order to set this up for today. And frankly, I really don't know what you gentlemen plan to gain by it.
Can we get serious now?
Can we get serious? This is a good way to do
We've
this
all heard about the computer
video. I love this part right
simulations,
here.
and now we are watching actual sims, but I can't quite believe you still have not taken into account the human factor.
Human piloted simulations showed that you could make it back to the airport.
No, they don't. These pilots were not behaving like human beings, like people who are experiencing this for the first.
So if this was actually true, he brings up good points that you can't just instantly have a catastrophic dual engine failure and to know exactly where to go. You have to analyze and assess the situation. So if, you know, the thing is, I don't think this was actually portrayed very accurately, but I think that this, again, Hollywood.
Are turning back for the airport, just as in the computer sims, correct?
That is correct.
They obviously knew the turn and exactly what heading to fly. They did not run a check. They did not switch on the APU.
They had all the same parameters that you faced.
No one warned us. No one said you are going to lose both engines at a lower altitude than any jet in history. But be cool. Just make a left turn for LaGuardia like you're going back to pick up the milk. Then make it human.
This wasn't a video game.
I call BS on him turning around to make a phone call and change the parameters, and then they live stream it. Like, I doubt that.
The reaction decision time will be set at 35 seconds.
Birds. We had both of them rolling back. Ignition start.
Yeah, this was true. He started the APU.
My aircraft.
Your
And that's very accurate. He called my aircraft. He's like, hey, when you call it my aircraft, it's your aircraft, especially when it's the captain. So my aircraft, he switches. He goes that, pull out the QRH.
The QRH.
Priority left.
Lots of thrust on both engines. Mayday, idle.
Airspeed, optimum relay 300 knots. We don't have that.
No, we don't.
What he did right there when he pushed on the dash, that was the master caution. He's canceling that out. So you can silence it so it's not constantly just ding, ding, ding. It's alerting you and you push that. You're acknowledging the notification without it overwhelming you and continually just barking at you. I love this scene. He just looks and it's almost like he's in shock. It just shows these scenes. He looks down, he sees his engines at 0, says lands ASAP. He sees all the airs. He looks over to his left, he sees the aircraft taking off. I don't know what aircraft would be taking off to the south when they just took off to the north, so I don't think that's very
Cactus
realistic.
1549, runway 4 is available if you want to make left traffic to runway 4.
I don't think we can make any runway. What about over to our right? Anything in New Jersey, maybe Teterboro?
Right here, that's my only issue. Look how low they're showing them. It's like I don't think you'd clear that bridge at that point.
Cactus 1549, you want to try and go to Teterboro?
Obstacle.
But apparently they did almost hit the George Washington Bridge. They didn't clear it by much. So apparently that part, how low that actually is, I don't know.
Wait 30 seconds.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
If you heard that in the background, the obstacle, and then it says clear of conflict. So, but there's, I guess that bridge painted, if that really happened.
This is the captain.
Painted like a terrain,
Brace
like
for
a train pull up, and it gave them a clear once they cleared that.
500.
Cactus 1549, turn right 280. You can land runway 1 Teterboro.
We can't make it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
Go ahead, try number 1.
Number 1. No relay.
We're going to end up in the Hudson.
Too low, terrain.
I'm sorry, say again, Cactus?
Too low, terrain.
So you hear that in the background? They're saying brace, brace, brace. So that's what Sully had said, that he could hear that through, and they actually put that in the movie, which is, I think, is cool.
Too low, terrain.
All right, let's put the flaps out. Put the flaps out.
Flaps out.
Cactus 1549, radar contact lost.
And that's also accurate. I was told and understood that he landed flaps 2 on the Airbus.
Newark off you at 2 o'clock in about 7 miles.
Got flaps out. 250 feet in the air.
What a crazy day. I just can't imagine being there.
Got no power in either one. Try the other one.
Try the other one.
49?
Terrain.
Still out?
150 knots.
Terrain.
Got flaps 2. You want more?
No, let's do it.
You got runway 29 available at Newark. It'll be 2 o'clock at 7 miles.
You got any ideas?
Caution. Terrain.
That was actually a real thing. Sully looked over and said, you got any ideas? Which was, people kind of paint that as a very good way of CRM, crew resource management, of saying, anything you got? Like, what we're here? What do you got? And he's like, actually, nothing. This is it. This is the situation we're at, so we're going to deal with it.
Actually, not.
Terrain, terrain. Pull up, pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
So the Airbus is fly-by-wire, and it's will not let you stall. They put in parameters that they trap you in. So what Sully had to do was he could just pull back on that stick and allow it to completely bleed off the airspeed without stalling. And so as he did that, he just basically what he had to do is keep the wings level. And I think the Airbus definitely was helpful in this situation if you compared it to like a 737.
Pull up.
We're going to brace.
Pull up.
30.
Pull up. Pull up.
20.
Pull up.
This guy, the punchable face guy, is pissed.
That was no simulation.
No, it wasn't.
Is there anything you'd like to add? Anything you would have done differently if you had to do it again?
Yes. I would have done it in July.
I would have done it in July. Funny enough, apparently that line was real, but he said that Sully said that to him right when they got off the boat. That happened back during the accident, not during that didn't come in the NTSB investigation. Sully asked him right when they got off the plane, "Do you think we could have done anything different?" It's such a pilot thing to say. Did we do anything? Did we do anything right? Could we have done anything different? And I guess Styles like, yeah, you could have done this in the summer. So that was a real joke, but not at the NTSB hearing. And it's a good way to end the movie. I love the movie. Very, as I said, very realistic. I'd give it a 9.6 out of 10. It was very good and well thought out. And let me know your thoughts. What movie do you want me to do next? And until next time, stay safe.